Hello, my dear students. My name is Veronika. I am your professional Russian teacher. Welcome to this channel. I am happy to see you here. And today we will learn Russian as we usually do here on this YouTube channel, Russian teacher Veronika. And I would like to announce that today we will talk about a new Russian verb. We will learn Russian grammar, Russian verb again, but the diversity is here because it will be not a normal, not usual, not even irregular verb of Russian language, but what can it be? It will be reflexive verb. And this is ЗАНИМАТЬСЯ. ЗАНИМАТься. And before we start our Russian lesson, I would like to say a huge big thank you to my amazing constant supporters. Many thanks to you for all your kind words, for all your donations, and for your faith in me. It means a lot to me. I do not have any income directly from YouTube, and this channel exists only because of my personal enthusiasm and because you send me donations. So if you want to thank me for my Russian lessons or you want to encourage me, just find the first comment below this video, and there you will find a link to Boosty. This is the platform that I use for donations, and it works with PayPal without any problems, so you can support my channel. Many thanks to all those who does this already. And many thanks in advance to those amazing people who will support my upcoming videos in future. Now let's return to our reflexive verb. Why is it reflexive? Basically, normally, Russian verbs, they finish with the ending «t». For example, гулять, читать, делать, любить. But we have such a group of quite unusual Russian verbs that we call reflexive, and they finish with postfix «ся». For example, ссориться, целоваться, мириться, влюбиться. All of them are reflexive. Okay, so now I would like to say that заниматься, it means to do or to practice, but it is not the same as делать, yeah? When I will give you examples in Russian language, you will understand the difference. Now let's move on to basics. Заниматься. First, we will talk about Russian pronunciation, correct Russian pronunciation. I'm a professional Russian teacher, I'm a Russian native speaker, and I will teach you how to speak Russian correctly. So, let's talk about Russian phonetics. Заниматься. In the end, you see the combination of 4 Russian letters. T, soft sign, S, Ya. We have 4 letters, but we pronounce them as only 2 sounds. Занима. You do not say тся or тися or something like that. You just say ца. Ца. As easy as that. Заниматься. Just repeat it after me. Заниматься. Заниматься. Yeah, this was about Russian pronunciation. Now let's talk a little bit about Russian grammar. Заниматься, it is infinitive form, because we have this T and soft sign before the postfix. Now let's move on to verb aspects in Russian. I know this is very difficult for foreigners who learn Russian, but this is really important. You cannot avoid this part of Russian grammar, so just listen to this carefully. We have заниматься, заниматься, which is imperfective, and we have заняться, заняться, which is perfective. And now let's move on to conjugation. So we have, if we talk about заниматься, imperfective verb aspect, we have 3 tenses. We have past, present, and future. Okay, so we will start from present, as I usually teach you here. So, я занимаюсь, ты занимаешься, он, она, оно занимается, он, она, оно занимается. And here you might have a question already. Why did I say занимаюсь? Занимаешься. Why do we have these 2 sets of postfixes here? This is very easy. When you see a vowel before the postfix, you need to add с. Я занимаю. This you is vowel. That's why you add с with a soft sign. Я занимаюсь. Then, if you move on to ты занимаешься, you have consonant and soft sign. That's why you add ся. Ты занимаешься. The same if you talk about third person singular in Russian language. Он занимает, you see t, which is consonant, ся. Here, again, you need to remember about Russian pronunciation because we have almost the same combination t, s, я. And these 3 Russian letters we pronounce as ya. Forget if you wanted to say занимается. That's not a very big mistake. Each Russian people, I am sure, will understand you, but it sounds very unnatural to the Russian ear. So, remember, он занимается. Next, we move on to plural in Russian language. Мы занимаемся, вы занимаетесь. Remember, we make here not ся, but с because of vowel е. Занимаетесь. And plural form of they in Russian would be они занимаются. That's it about present tense. Now let's move on to examples in Russian language. I know you love this part. Я не занимаюсь боксом. Я не занимаюсь боксом. Чем ты занимаешься завтра вечером? Чем ты занимаешься завтра вечером? Школьник дополнительно занимается математикой с репетитором. Школьник дополнительно занимается математикой с репетитором. Моя подруга занимается пением и ходит на уроки вокала. Моя подруга занимается пением и ходит на уроки вокала. Мы в отпуске и ничем не занимаемся. Мы в отпуске и ничем не занимаемся. Почему вы занимаетесь этим проектом? Почему вы занимаетесь этим проектом? Они уже занимаются этим вопросом. Они уже занимаются этим вопросом. This was the part of this Russian lesson about the conjugation in present tense, but also we have, of course, future, as I already mentioned in the beginning of this lecture, and we have past tense too. Now let's talk about future. It's more interesting than past, I think. So basically you just need to add буду. Yeah, so you will see now how I will form future tense of imperfective verb. That's very important in Russian language. Я буду заниматься. Я буду заниматься. Ты будешь заниматься. Ты будешь заниматься. Он будет заниматься. Он будет заниматься. Мы будем заниматься. Мы будем заниматься. Вы будете заниматься. Вы будете заниматься. Они будут заниматься. Они будут заниматься. So basically, as you could already notice, we do not change the verb заниматься itself here. It stays the same in infinitive form. What do we change here? We change this, I forgot how you call it. Вспомогательный глагол. Auxiliary verb, I think you call it in English. Yeah, you just change this auxiliary verb, буду. Yeah, so you say буду, будешь, будет, будем, будете, будут. Yeah, so this is very similar and very different at the same time if you compare this to English, because you also have the auxiliary verb will, but this will never changes. It is much more easy in English language than in Russian, at least in this part of grammar. Okay, let me shortly make one example here. Если я поеду в Австралию, я буду заниматься серфингом. Если я поеду в Австралию, я буду заниматься серфингом. Yeah, now let's talk about past tense. So we have 4 forms here. Masculine занимался, занимался. Feminine занималась, занималась. Absolutely the same, we pronounce neuter form, but we write o. Занималась, занималась. So here, as I already said in my previous videos many times, Russian reduction law works here. So o unstressed you pronounce as a. Занималась. Okay, and plural form is занимались. Занимались. So you see that the same story works here. Занимался, masculine form, you have L, it is a consonant. After L, you add ся, because it is consonant, right? And занималась, you have a, and this is vowel, that's why you add ся, занималась. That's it. And here I would like to make one sentence, one example again, for your better understanding of Russian grammar and how it works in context in a normal, authentic Russian sentence. The example here would be чем ты занимался 10 лет назад? Чем ты занимался 10 лет назад? That's it. Like a little detective. Yeah, чем ты занимался 10 лет назад? And of course, I cannot forget about famous Russian cases system. So we have 6 cases in Russian language, and today we are interested in only one of them, and this is instrumental case. The case number 5. Yeah, I wanted to show 6. No, number 5. Instrumental case. In Russian, by the way, we call this case творительный падеж. Творительный падеж. So, normally, if you make a sentence in Russian, after the verb заниматься and its perfective pair заняться, by the way, too, you need to use instrumental case. Yeah. So, for example, let me shortly show you the examples, the combination, how it works in Russian. Заниматься пением, заниматься рисованием, заниматься спортом, заниматься танцами, заниматься биологией. So it can be something like science, any kind of science, or it can, like, you learn something new or additional, and it can be something practical like dancing or singing or drawing or painting something, yeah? So all of these activities you need to put in instrumental case in Russian language. That's all what I wanted to discuss today at this Russian lesson. Many thanks for watching, and especially many thanks for your support. See you very soon. Увидимся скоро. Пока-пока. Bye-bye.